This year, ADL's Global 100 survey of anti-Semitic attitudes around the world found a 46% shift. 46% of the adult population, 2.2 billion people, harbor elevated levels of anti-Semitism. That's nearly double the rate that we saw a decade ago. For the first time since we started tracking these attitudes in the 1960s, the younger generation is more likely to hold elevated anti-Jewish views than their parents or grandparents. Let me repeat that. The younger generation is more likely to be anti-Semitic than the older one. This year...
Okay, so let me get this straight. The organization which is getting money in order to fight anti-Semitism is saying that there is more anti-Semitism. I mean, seems to be a little bit of a conflict of interest here. I'm just saying, like, if there's more, that means they get more money, right? Like, that's how it works. Like, if a problem is solved, you don't donate more cash. And if the problem is really high, then you gotta donate more. But let's assume that is the case, right? Why would it be that the children are more anti-Semitic than the parents? Well, I'm looking at the last case of ADL involvement, if you will. There is a video game platform. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called Steam. And the ADL kicked up a fuss to the point where Gabe Newell was dragged in front of the American Senate to explain why there is anti-Semitism on Steam. Now, I use Steam, much like many others, and I've never found this anti-Semitism on it, despite the fact that the ADL claims there were millions of cases. And for those of us that actually did go and try to see what exactly classifies as anti-Semitism, Pepe the Frog was actually a case of anti-Semitism. So like every time someone is on Steam and they posted a Pepe the Frog emoji, the ADL would classify that as anti-Semitic. Now it makes sense they would do that because if you go on their website, they actually do have Pepe the Frog. And the reason they have Pepe the Frog on their website is specifically so when they make studies on things like Steam, they find out more anti-Semitism in order to then make these types of videos and justify that the problem is so overblown that they need more donations. People notice. Like, on the internet, I know it's weird, and I know it's disgusting, but people talk to each other. And then they also found the Happy Wheel on Steam. Right, now, the Happy Wheel, sometimes, not all the times, but it can be used as a joke. I know it shouldn't, I know, but, you know, there is a difference between Hitler that uses the Happy Wheel unironically and a person that just uses it as a joke in order to be edgy, in order to show to the other 15-year-olds that he's the tough guy. And I don't think, like, Jewish people are in danger because the 14-year-old is the tough guy on Steam. And so, this creates a little bit of resentment, but hey, it's just one gaming platform, right? And then you realize just how many content creators have gotten censored and kicked off the platform for similar shit. And, you know, one person gets kicked off, that's fine. But if they have, like, millions of subscribers, every single one of those subscribers is going to ask, hold on a little bit, like, this content creator was my entertainment for the day. Who kicked them off? The ADL. It causes resentment. I wonder if the ADL finds themselves responsible for a little bit of the anti-Semitism. Not a lot, but like, do you not think that censoring people creates resentment? Like, is this the solution? Does the ADL even have, like, a different take on how to fix anti-Semitism besides censorship? Like, is this the only tool in the box? Or ingraining people? Oh my goodness. Yes, the other thing that I've noticed is the Holocaust, right? Constant visits, constant moralizing, constant this and constant that. I'm not saying it's not a tragic event. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be informed of the Holocaust. But there is this expression, too much of a good thing. Like if your favorite dish seems to be hamburgers, if you're forced to eat hamburgers consistently for like 3 months, you're going to be sick of them. And so when you hear about something everywhere, people tune out. Especially when you have to understand it's been 100 years, right? Like, has it? Are we close? Usually 100 years is the time period when people stop caring about something. I know it's awful, and I'm not saying like they don't care as in intellectually. I'm saying emotionally, right? Because after 100 years, even the grandchildren of the people that suffered pass away. And so you don't have like any people that have any recollections. It's kind of like talking about the Mongol invasion or the Huns, or, you know, you can care about it from an intellectual point of view, but it's not as emotionally intensive. And it's going to happen the same with the Soviet Union and its atrocities. Like, people tend to be less emotionally invested. It's pretty much with everything. Like World War II, right? Like, how many people now look at World War II as a huge tragedy? Like, intellectually, they know it's a huge tragedy, but it makes for really great video games, doesn't it? And so you can't just like constantly use just one talking point over and over. And I want to make sure that people understand here. I'm not talking about like using the Holocaust in order to educate people or whatever. I'm talking about like someone goes, yeah, I don't think like this amount of illegal immigration is good. I think we need to stop migration. Immediately it's like, Nazi, Holocaust. And it's like, you know, like you're kind of watering down the thing. And then you have the recent scandal with Wikipedia and the early life. And apparently it's anti-Semitic, right? Like you can't have the early life. So when people are upset over an individual, a historical figure or a journalist or something, but they must have done something to piss people off, right? Like, people don't just like actively go for a Chinese person and for no reason look at their early life, right? Like, there must be something that agitates the public, that makes the public go after specific individuals for shit they done, right? Because like, you don't just go on Wikipedia and randomly search people up like it's the phone book. No, like there must be something that someone said or did which gets people to look into their biography, see who is this person. Usually a journalist, right? Like they write an awful article, you know, a horrible article on why cisgender straight white men are bad, or curfew for men, or some shit of that level, right? And people are like, who is this journalist? And they look at the early life. Apparently that's anti-Semitic. It's like, okay, you know, you can make these arguments, you can censor, but then you're shocked when the number of anti-Semitism rises, because you're not interested in having a dialogue or a conversation or putting out fires or figuring out what's going on. The only tool you have is censorship, shaming, and moralizing. And apparently that doesn't work unless you change tactics or unless you like the situation. I mean, if I was an organization that was tackling racism, I would want more racism so I have more things to tackle and so I get more money, right? Like, that makes sense. And of course, you know, the geopolitical situation right now with Israel and Palestine. I mean, it's rare that both the left and the right have agreed to this, right? Right-wingers, apparently, they don't like the fact that America is spending too much money on foreign wars, period. Like, in general, they don't like the war in Ukraine. They don't like the war with Israel and Palestine for the same reason, because they're saying, well, it's my taxpayer money. I just don't want it to go to foreign wars. Now, you may disagree with them. That's fine. But they have a right to vote. And that's what they think. They just don't want foreign wars, period. Right? So, with this type of individual, when you have a political commentator like Ben Shapiro saying, no, actually, America needs to help, blah, 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 not a good look. You're not going to get ratings. You're not going to get approval from that. And the other side, the left, they have been indoctrinated in the academia that straight, cisgender, white, heteronormative, patriarchal men are bad. And when they look at Benjamin Netanyahu, he kind of fits the bill. And so, like, who is Benjamin Netanyahu fighting against? The oppressed Muslims. That's the woke lens. That's the way they see the world. If you can find a way to reach them and talk them out of it, tell me how, because I don't know either. And so, yeah, like, if you have both of these things agreeing with each other, the level of anti-Semitism rises, and if you're going to try to censor them rather than engage in dialogue and convince them differently, well, the number of resentment grows even higher. censorship is like hiding the problem under the rug. The room looks clean for a little while, but there is only so much dirt you can put under the rug until the room starts looking weird because there's a bulge in the rug. So yeah, really interesting. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.